Hello learners, today we would learn how to install Windows Server 2012 on virtual machine. Before we install, it's my responsibility to let you walk through the installation of Windows Server 2012 and other prerequisites which we need to ensure. So before we install Windows Server 2012 on a computer, we have to ensure that computer is meeting with the pre-installation requirements or system requirements, in other words. So when we are going to check for the minimum requirement on a particular computer, we have to ensure that the processor of that particular computer is having 1.4 gigahertz processor and it is compatible with 64-bit architecture. 32-bit architecture processors are not compatible. Then the next item which we need to check is for RAM. RAM, there has to be at least 512 MB of RAM and 32 gig of hard drive is requirement. After that, some other requirements are also there, like the DVD drive if I want to install operating system through the DVD, and a monitor which supports at least 800 times 600 or higher resolution. Keyboard and mouse, of course, you can buy from Microsoft, or you can have other compatible input devices or pointing devices, and internet access for some certain information. So these are the minimum requirement which we must need to follow in order to install the operating system. So let go through virtual machine creation, and then after I would show you how we can install the operating system. The requirement you can check from this particular site. I hope you can see the URL which is being mentioned on the screen. Let me show you how we can quickly create a virtual machine. So I'll select create a new virtual machine option. I would leave the recommended one, typical, click next. I would install operating system later. I'm just going to create one virtual machine. Then click next. From the guest operating system, I would ensure that the Microsoft Windows is selected. Then from the version drop down list, let's select Windows Server 2012 and then click on next. You can give a name here, so I'm just giving a name called server 1, and I can decide where the operating system would be stored. So let it be the default location. Click next. The minimum hard disk which is being detected on this computer is 60 gig, which is of course matching with our minimum requirement, which was 32 gig of hard drive. So I would select store virtual disk as a single file and let it be the 60 gig hard drive. Click next. And these are the summary of our virtual machine. So hard drive, it has detected 60 gig and memory is 1 gig or 1024 MB, and other devices you can see CD and DVD is detected, USB controller and other is fine. Just click on finish. The operating system computer is being created here. Now we need to edit this virtual machine setting in order to change the other parameters. For an example, I need 2 gig of RAM on this particular computer, and I'm going to select CD DVD SATA, which I would be selecting one ISO image file, and click on browse. So I have to select the ISO image of stored on this particular computer. So I have stored all my ISO image in D drive / ISO image folder, and I'm going to select this particular ISO image, and then I would click on open it. Once I click on open and OK, the virtual machine is ready. We need also a license key in order to install the operating system. So I have just checked the license. It's from internet, of course. I have searched this one. So this license can be used by anybody. That's not a big problem. So this license we require in order to install our operating system. So I would suggest, if you have license, you can note it down separately so that you can input whenever it is required. So let me close this file and start the virtual machine. So clicking on this option would enter into full screen mode and click on power on this virtual machine. Once the virtual machine is starting, it would automatically detect the ISO image and it would start booting from the DVD. After a few seconds, the installation window would appear where I can specify or I can select the options like language to install, time and currency format, and keyboard or input method, which are default for us. That's not a problem. Click next. Here in this point I can repair the computer or I can install now the new operating system. If there is an existing operating system and if that operating system is giving problem, then I can go for repair your computer option. As of now there is no operating system at all, so I would select install now option on this particular computer. So setup is preparing, it's copying temporary file on the drive, and then it prompts us to type the license key. In some ISO images, it would not ask you to type the license key, but in this one I have to type. So you can see on the screen I'm typing that license key. You need to check if you are using an operating system and you have if you have purchased, they would send you the license key through email, or if you have purchased through the DVD, then there might be a license key information on the DVD. So after you have typed the license key, click on next. If license key is appropriate and it is verified, you would be given in a operating system selection screen. I can select Windows Server 2012 Standard Edition server with a graphical user interface. Its architecture is of 64-bit. Then click on next. At this screen we have to agree with the license terms, so I have to check the box next to I accept the license terms. Click on next. These two options are helpful. The first one is used when we have older version of operating system and I want to upgrade it to newer one. For an example, if I having Windows Server 2008 or 2008 R2, then I can use upgrade option. But as of now I know there is no operating system, so I would select custom install Windows only, which is the advanced option. Selecting this, we would be asked to partition the drive. If you want to do the partitioning, you can click on the drive options and from there you can click on the new partition. You can type the partition size. For an example, I'm typing 30,000 MB. 30,000 MB is equivalent to 30 gig, and clicking on OK, you can see there is a partition being detected. You can select the other size also, other partition, and you can make another partition there. So system partition contains boot code. These are the two primary partition. Operating system can only be installed on the primary partitions only. So you can select any of the primary partition and then click on next. The rest is being taken care by Windows installer. Okay, so now we can see that the installer has finished installation and we are now being asked to type administrator password. The administrator password must be complex and hard to guess password, which can include uppercase, lowercase characters, numbers, special digits, and strong characters which or strong password which can't be guessed. So as of now I have typed my password and I have re-entered the password. Clicking finish, the installation would finalize and we would be given the login prompt. That's all about the operating system installation of Windows Server 2012. In the next lecture I would be showing you how we can do the post installation settings, like setting time zone, IP addresses, computer name, and other part of the operating system. For the time being, that's all. Thank you for your watching.